Good evening, everyone. This is Brother Nathaniel here, and I was recently inspired by Bay's Chaman and in his videos of analyzing phone calls, and so I decided to make a short analysis of the phone call that Davut Ozkan made. I hope you don't mind, Bay's Chaman, that I'm stealing your topic, but I'm sure you won't because you know that I fucking love Davut Ozkan. First thing you need to know about Davut, it's actually pronounced Davut Ozkan. That's how you pronounce it in his language, which is Turkish. And that's fine. Turkey is a great country. I like Turkey. Great people. Great food too. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that the contributor is no one other than Xavier von Erck. And Xavier von Erck, in case you didn't know, he is the founder and the CEO of Perverted Justice. This is a titan. Without this man, there would be no To Catch a Predator, no Bust, and no Lorne Armstrong, if you think about it. And the fact that Davut was caught by the master himself, it just adds to the mythos of it. Like, if I ever get caught for whatever reason, I hope that I get busted by Xavier Von Erck. It would be an honor. Like, if I get arrested and, like, I'm on the station and there's the Surgeon Gallagher, Detective Young, or whatever, and they're interrogating me, and they say, "Oh, by the way, the guy who caught you is Xavier Von Erck." I would feel a bit of relief because this man is one of my idol. I love him so much. He's a personal inspiration of mine. He's a really, really great person. And we see basically in the chat like there's a mistake actually in the it's not Nax Socks, it's Nat Zox. And where does he find that name? Well, if you read reverse, it's X Oscan, and it's David Oskan, so Eskan. So it's basically not a very very clever pseudonym. Pseudonym. And the girl actually is named Bush Sock Girl, and that was in 2006, like when George W. Bush, that fucking. Anyway, I don't want to talk about politics. No politics tonight. But I remember during the interview with David Ozkan, the detective asked, "Do you remember the name of the girl you were talking to?" And that was in Ohio, and I don't know, is Ohio Republican? I don't know. I think it is Republican. I'm curious because when the cop read the names of it, no, it's one of the swing parties. Okay. Republican outnumbers Democrat in Ohio government. Okay, so it's a little bit. Okay, no, it's definitely a Republican state. Is it a red state? It's sort of on the verge of, becoming a Democrat country. So it's not the most hardcore Republican place, but it's still Republican. So when the cop reads the name, was the girl named Bush Sock Girl? And you're in the police, and it's still you, it's still your president, and technically speaking, you're a civil servant if you're a detective. So I guess in a way, Bush was your big boss. I don't know. I'm not an expert in that. I know in the military, he's the head of the military, I think. But for a detective, I don't know. But you can see that the cop is not really comfortable reading the name. So maybe pick another name next time. But that makes it even funnier. So in Ohio, guilty to a fourth degree felony, 65 days in jail. He was actually sentenced in late 2006. The investigation was in March 2006. He was sentenced at the end of the year. $1,500 sexual evaluation. And if you wonder what happened, that's look at him. You can just tell. Like, look at this height. Look at his nose. Oh. I don't like to make fun of somebody's physical features. But there was a video of the police interrogation when Davut was being led by the police, and at a point he kind of stumbles and he kind of falls a little, and There was a guy who put an annotation, and he said the nose was probably blocking his view. And the video got removed, but I swear it was the funniest thing ever. And then he said, this clumsy piece of shit was going to be an engineer. And if you see here, he was actually, if you look at the title, he was actually non-compliant for a while, but you have his info. So he got out on January 2nd, 2007. So you know it's closed for the holidays. So what day was that? I need to check. 2007. It was Tuesday. Tuesday. So he got out, and I guess he had to register as a sex offender. Because if you look at the date, this was posted. This was posted on December 21, 2006. And when you do the sex offender registration, you get out, of course. And you see he's wearing a jacket. He's actually wearing 3 fucking shirts again. That's a joke I made on the video. Like, he starts removing like his jacket, and he has a hoodie, and then he has a kind of a shirt under. Why is he wearing 3 shirts? It's not that cold outside. Like, he has a under, I don't know, some kind of shirt. He has some kind of polo. He has some kind of coat, and then he has a winter coat. So I guess he's prepared. So he got out. That's a sex offender picture. In case you wonder, after serving the 65 days in jail, he probably got out pretty fast. If he got out, I don't know if that's the day he was sentenced, and I couldn't find his conviction online. So if he got that, maybe he spent Christmas and New Year's, and then he was let out on January 2nd. So he spent maybe 10 days, or maybe that was posted with a delay, and he actually served his full sentence. I don't know. So that's a picture, and somehow there's another picture with the same clothes, and I don't know when it was taken. Why do we have 2? I guess those were taken at the same time. If you look at his hair is hanging out the same kind of place, a little bit, same length, same clothing, same, his face, shaving. That's actually pretty cool because he's really clean shaved. So I guess he just thought, I'm gonna get my pedo picture taken, so I might as well be clean, I might as well shave myself well. Like what happened to Davut, he wasn't deported, or actually, yes, he was deported. He had a student visa, and I guess he didn't continue his study. So he was deported to Turkey, so he doesn't have to register anymore because he's not in the US. He kind of beat the system. So I guess Davut is back I guess he's back in Turkey, and he's just doing his shit today, and nobody recognizes him in Turkey. Maybe he's changed his name. That's what I would do. If I was Davut, I would go back to Turkey. I would change my name, and it's gone. You can live your life like nothing ever happened, which should be how it is. Once you serve your time, you shouldn't be like plastered over the. In my opinion, you should be plastered online like, oh, this is a pedo. He tried to rape a kid. And if you read like the offense, unlawful sexual conduct with a minor, it's attempted. He didn't even rape the child, and she was 15 actually. And he didn't actually did it, and he's tired too, sex offender, young female. I guess this is Ohio. Like if it was young male, it would be worse maybe. My vision of Ohio is that it's not the most developed state. I don't mean no offense if you live there. It's probably a great place to live in, but it's a bit atavistic. It's a bit like Oklahoma. That's a shit state. Sorry to people. If you live there, I apologize. But Oklahoma and Louisiana, those are probably the worst U.S. states. It's full of meth, and we have some of those kind of people here. But people who, with cousins. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But Ohio is kind of fine. It's kind of an okay state, and it's close to Canada. It's actually close to Ontario, so. It's northern state, and usually northern states are really great in general. Not saying that there's not anything good in the south, like there's California, it's awesome, but typically when you're close to the border, it's a bit more like nice places. But in Ohio, it's a bit like retarded. I didn't mean to say that, okay? Forget that way. It's a bit more like conservative, ancient, like Maine. Some part of Maine, it's a bit like rural, You know what I mean? Like in Ohio, it's not, you don't have like a Silicon Valley, or you don't have like in Phoenix, you have some big like top technology stuff. You don't have like the most recent technology and solar farms and all that and the cool stuff. Anyway, You know what I mean. So when they say victim, young female, but she doesn't actually exist. It's a decoy, so it's very misleading. I guess nobody gives a shit to give an accurate description. And yeah, they say race Asian. He's not Asian. You guys suck at this. And again, he has two pictures, and you could like, ugh. I guess what happened is that took one and say, "Oh, your eyes were not open. We're gonna take another." And again, to go back to clean shaving, if I was like forced to do that, you can make sure I would get the longest barb ever. I would groom it, and I would be like very disguised. Like I would like cut my hair, I would let my hair grow in a very different manner. And then I would go back to Turkey and cut it out, and I wouldn't even look like that. You see his nose. So now we're gonna listen to the phone call. It's pretty fucking hilarious. I'm gonna comment it. It's not very long, so let's go.
Hello?
Hello? Hello? And listen to that. Hey, it's
Good, hi.
good. How are you? Good. How are you? When people ask why did I love Davut Ozkan so bad, one of the reasons I love him so bad, he's one of the few people on this, side of the ocean with an English worse than mine. So I'm gonna translate what he says, even though it's in Turkish. And one more thing I want to say about Ohio, when I say it's not the most progressive state, they're actually, a little bit like racist. I don't mean no offense to that, but the way they treat Lauren during, not Lauren, I love Lauren so much. The way they treat Davut during the interrogation, you can see that, they treat him like a Muslim, even though Davut is not a Muslim. He's Turkish. He's not even Muslim. He's not like nothing wrong with being a Muslim. But what I mean to say is that for Ohio people, like you're either white, which is the best, well, in Ohio, or you're black, and black, I won't get in that topic, or you're a terrorist, basically. At least that's how I see like that kind of state, like Alabama, Missouri, and all those states. If you're not white, you start like not at the top. Black can be okay, like the U.S. have made some step to fight racism in the against black people. In some states, it's still pretty terrible. In some other, like in Georgia, if you watch how they are so much tougher on black guys that get arrested and like they tackle them and tase them. Anyway, and the new form of racism is on Muslim because of September 11. And many people, when they see somebody like Davut, even though he's not even Muslim, they say, "Oh, that guy." Well, I guess he could pass at white, but they say, "Oh, that guy is September 11th." That's how people see it. Even though Turkey has nothing to do with it, and even if he was from South Arabia, those people have nothing to do with terrorism. I bet 99% of Muslims are totally against terrorism. But in the U.S., and I knew people like they were in the U.S. after September 11th, and they got attacked because they looked Middle Eastern. And what I mean to say is that in Ohio, Davut is kind of treated like a bit like, "Oh, you're not white," like a second class of citizen. Phone call.
How do you say your name?
How do you say your name? And I had to Google it. It's Davut. Davut. And I have to say something. During the video with the police that was since removed, that was the funniest point in the world where Davut is like, the police are kind of mean with him because, as I said, it's a Middle Eastern. Oh, he's not like me. Oh, Islam. And again, he's not even Muslim, but oh, it's Middle Eastern. It must be Muslim. But there's a point in the interview, Dawood is really down. He put his hand on the counter, on the table, on the desk, and he waits there for a few seconds, and then he raises his head and he says, "I tell you now, if they show this, I kill myself." And the uploader, he had put a note and he said, "Oh no, a suicidal Muslim. Someone called DHS, Department of Homeland Security." And then the cop, he says, "You don't want to do that. I swear I will." You don't want to do that, man. Can you sign this form on the bottom, please? They don't give a damn. Like the police, they really look at him like he's a piece of shit. Like they're much. Well, actually, they were kind of rough on Rob Klein and Kenneth Brinkman too. But you can feel some tension because the fact that he's Middle Eastern. It's sad to say, but for many Americans and in those states, they look like someone at Davut and they say, "Does he have a bomb on him?" That's really mean that I say, but that's how many people think. All right, we're getting to the phone call. Let's go. How do you say your name? We just to remind us.
Hey, how do you say your name?
Hey, how do you say your name? Like he's thinking, like, how do I say my name already? And then he's gonna say, listen,
Dav.
Dav. How do you say your name? Dav. How do you say your name? Nathane. Whatever.
ID.
David. It's David, but it's actually the English translation as a name, but his real name is Davut. But he says David. What's with the every decoy seems to do that? Like, do they train decoy to say
What's up?
what's up?
Much.
Not much.
What's your name, sir?
Oh, that's the photo from the police interrogation. Look at his nose. And then during that part, I remember he actually has to put his finger in his mouth to put like he doesn't have like drug in his mouth. Like if it was me, I would say no. Why would I do that? Like my hands are dirty. I'm not gonna put my dirty hand in my mouth. It's not hygienic. Like, and actually to have to do it in front of a camera for a dateline, it must be so fucking humiliating. Like there's a camera filming and you know that this is going on TV and the guy says, okay, put your finger inside and roll it in front of your gums. Like I don't know why they even do that. Like somebody's gonna hide like a gram of crack in his mouth. Anyway. Or to make sure he doesn't have a weapon, like a teeny knife. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. Like if there was a cop telling me that, I wouldn't do that. I would say, my hands are dirty. I guess the guard would probably beat the crap out of me if I didn't do it. That sucks. Prison abuse sucks. It's not even funny. I'm not even gonna make a joke. I'm just not gonna go to the U.S. because here in Canada, you're not treated like that. When we have strong rights, we have real civil rights, and in some states in the U.S. you do. I'm not gonna exaggerate, but here in Canada, it's you have and Sam, if he was there, he would say like criminals get a lot of rights that they do. Like in Norway, like the criminals, they have a PS2 in a cell. Like that's cool. I want to go to jail in Norway. But anyway, let's go. Sarah.
Nice name.
Nice name. What the fuck? Have you ever met somebody and they say your name and say, "Oh, nice name. Hey, what's your name? Nathaniel. Oh, nice name." That's a weird compliment.
Oh. I wish you.
Again, the conversation is already dead. Like he's really like you can feel that David is really applying himself to like how can I say to sound good. Now he's gonna say something.
Close here.
I wish you were close here.
I wish you were close here to
I
us.
I wish you were close here to us. And that's not the photo at the jail because at the time he takes his mud chuck, he has no. That's the stupid shirt he has. So I don't know when that picture was taken. Maybe once he got out of jail. My guess is that when he got released of jail, they took a pic. And he can't even stand straight. Like he probably that can see doesn't look like too good. And is that an injury? I don't know. And there's actually something funny in the chat log. The chat log is really funny. And he says, "My hands are like a girl's hand." And then there's a comment from Xavier Von Erg, and he says, "It's a good thing we don't send these chat logs to the prison these guys stay." This is so mean. Oh, like imagine Davut, and then he's in jail, and there's a guy like, he's a teeny little he's a teeny little guy. And then the guy says, "My girls are like a girl's hand." But he's a predator. And there's another passage that is really funny. You are still young. Thanks. I'm old enough to know bush sucks, which is old enough in my book. Most older people don't know that. And it's cliche, but Muslim people, it's not even Muslim. So Middle Eastern people hate bush. Because if you look at the map of Iraq. Well, if you remember in 2006, it's actually pretty damn close to Turkey. It's not next door, but Turkey is right here. So if you had somebody, like let's say you live here and you have, I don't know, did they bomb here or not, but you can probably hear the bangs. And actually the whole world, like every country around here was like, invasion of Iraq, it's Iraq, right? Yeah, of Iraq. So it's cliche, but he doesn't like Bush. I don't like him either, and I'm pretty far. Exactly. Most people, all the people, don't know that. Exactly. So you are old enough. It's really funny. The discussion is quite funny. You know, I think Xavier Van Erck is an amazing decoy. And then he says, I don't want you to start drinking. Oh, are you against it or something? No, I am not. Whatever you want, I can drink. I don't know. I just don't want to be bored. Have you ever seen a cock? And actually, I did bring that point, like a cock. Maybe you should have said, he should have brought a rooster, you know? Oh, wait, you said that. Yeah, I have the internet. Do you want to see mine? Again, maybe that's his cock. You know, he has a pet like a dog. He has a cock. Huh, you're gonna bring that too? Sure, for you. He's gonna bring a cock. Like, no, I'm not gonna bring it. I'm just gonna cut it and leave it on the counter before I go. That's bizarre. And actually, I've been thinking, Davut is Muslim, so I correct myself. He is Muslim. Because I remember now in the interview, he says, with Chris Hansen, he says, I shouldn't do that. It is against my religion. I'm Muslim, I shouldn't do that. Oh, my apology. He is a Muslim, so I'm sorry if you're the uploader of the video who made the comment about a suicidal Muslim that he's gonna bomb something. Someone called DHS. So if you are that uploader, I apologize. I accuse you of being wrongly. I was wrong. You were right, man. He is a Muslim, so I shouldn't do that. It is against my religion. If my family learns, shame on my family. And yes, it is against his religion. And it's important to remember that he is Muslim. So it's one other reason, you know, when there was September 11, many people, they didn't hate terrorism. They started to hate Muslims in general. I have nothing against Muslims personally. I like them. Like, I think they're cool people. But, you know, in many states and counties, there is some sort of racism against Muslims. So let's go on. 36 seconds. My video is like 20 minutes long. I only did 36 seconds.
Well, you're not really far.
And then she doesn't.
Yes, to us.
I wish she lived closer to us. Well, you're not really far.
Mm-hmm.
Uh huh. That's so awkward. Like, uh huh.
Do you want to meet tomorrow?
Do I need to work? Did you understand what he said? I'm gonna try to understand him the first time he talks. It's really hard. Listen to it a second time. Tell me if you get it.
Do you want to meet tomorrow?
Do I need to work? He actually says, do I need to worry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can, but. You want to come over? Do you want to meet tomorrow?
Do I need to work? Do I need to work? Yeah.
You want to come over? Yeah, I can, but.
Yeah, I can, but. And listen to that.
Can I trust you?
Can I trust you? Can I trust you? I used to have a blog on Davut Ozkan because I love him so much. It actually says, use that nose to sniff kids. Like, oh, there are some underage kids here that I can rape. Can I trust you?
Of course you can.
Of course you can.
Okay.
Okay, that's good enough for him, you know? Like, can I trust you? Of course you can. Ah, okay.
Because, you know. And can I stay there?
Can I stay there? I have a friend who does that. It's so annoying. Like, we go out, like, I invite him to take, like, an apéro here. And then we go out to bar, and he says, like, can I stay here? And I'm like, oh, you want to stay for a sleep? Like, it's so annoying because you have to prepare a snack when you come back from the bars, and you have to prepare a bed. You have to inflate a mattress, and you have to cook breakfast the next day because, you know, he's there, so you feel cheap not doing anything. So, and that friend is really annoying. He always stays like overnight and uninvited. You know, the least you could do is wait for her to invite you, Davut.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, she sounds so excited. Can I stay there? Yeah, if you want to.
Okay.
Okay.
So what time your dad go?
Did you understand that? What time did your dad go? Huh?
What time your dad has flight?
What time your dad has flight? That's very perfect syntax. I start one talk like this, me too. And this is actually when he tries to block the camera that is filming him, the Dateline camera. And what happened is actually hilarious. He's actually getting his mugshot, and you see he's a teeny like. If I was in jail, but I would beat the shit out of him. I'm a pretty big guy. I'm not big like Shaman, but I'm actually strong. I do like a lot of bodybuilding and protein shakes and all that. And if that was my cellmate, I would beat the shit out of him. Not because he's Muslim, not because he's a child predator, but you see that in your cell, you're like, no, fuck that. And actually, what happened is that he's facing in front of him, like he's facing here, not the door, but he's looking ahead, like his head is aligned with his body, and they take a mock shot and they say turn left. So he turns left, he looks at the door and the calendar, and they take another picture. And then they say, okay, turn the other side, but now he needs to turn and face the camera, and he doesn't want to because Davut is quite a retarded person. Even though he has been like taped for like 15 minutes at the house, he's still trying to hide his face, which is acceptable. It's a logical thing to do, I guess. So when he says face the camera, he doesn't want to. And he actually lunges at the camera and he says, don't tape! Please don't tape! And the guard says, hey, I don't care. Don't move. And the guard doesn't seem happy, like he doesn't give a damn. And now Davut is just gonna bow his head and they say, and the guard says, look up, look up. And Davut just moves a little bit up, like he tries to follow the order, but doesn't want to show his face. And then the security guard says, look at my hand. And now he raises his hand, but the guard is kind of blocking the view, and now it allows Davut to save some of his privacy, I guess. But it's useless because they have a big shot of him, at the house. You have a 15-minute interview, you see everything like that. But Daddy doesn't know. So okay, we're gonna continue. Sorry for all the cut. I have so much to say. I love him so much. This is one of the best part of the show. I would beat the shit out of him. Like, look at the nose. Like, get some surgery, man. He could probably like put his nose in the girl's vagina, and just by breathing and inhaling by the nose, he would make the girl come. I come from good family. If my family learn from newspaper, it brings shame to my family. Also, there's the fact that he doesn't want to say which country he's from. So the police ask him like, okay, what country are you? Where do you come from? My country, which is. Please don't let them to show this, please. I talk. And they say the cameras are gone, man, but they're not actually gone. So it's kind of a trap. And then he says Turkey. And then a bit later during the interview, he's being booked and there's a camera. And now the correction agent asks him, what country is that? And now alone he knows that he's being taped. And he says like, Turkey. You want to cause my death? You cause my death, you know that. I'll kill myself, I swear. And the agent says, stop talking to me now. I miss that video so much. Fuck. It was so funny. You caused my death, you know that? He pulled a Stacy, a Jeff Stacy. Wow, I really need to get going.
Can you say it again? I can't hear you.
Can you say it again? I can hear you. No, you can hear him. You just don't understand him because he's one of the few guys in the world with an English worse than mine.
Uh, what time your dad is leaving tomorrow?
What time is your dad leaving tomorrow? Is that unacceptable? What time is your dad leaving tomorrow? That's acceptable. Like it's probably the kind of sentence you learn like in grade 2. If one with clear says, "What time is your father?" Well, it's okay sentence. What and what time your dad is leaving tomorrow? You should say at what hour your dad is taking his flight. It's basic, but it works.
Oh, I think it's early.
Oh, I think it's early. Like your father is leaving and you don't even know like when he's leaving. Oh, it's early. Okay. You're supposed to be 15. You should know at least the time. Like if your dad is leaving, whatever.
Early?
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
So when do you want to meet?
When you want to meet.
Afternoon or?
Yes, you want to like what time?
Okay, where?
What
Your
time?
house?
Where your house? Did you understand that the first time? He says, where your house? Your house, your house.
I can tell you my address online, so you can map it.
And again, that's another key at something wrong. I can tell you my address online. Why online? Just say it now. It's not so long to tell an address.
Okay. Could you write your address online?
That's what she said, Davut. Your English talk is bad, and your English speech is bad, and your English listening skills are bad.
And is that your cell phone?
No, it's the house.
House phone?
House phone.
Okay.
Only like, if you want to, I can call you tomorrow. Like.
I'm really wondering if this is Kayla on the phone. I think it is Kayla. Like if I go southern throated, I think that's her. I'm not sure. I know she's a voice decoy. She actually did all the verification from like Wrestling Dude East Tennessee. I wish I could have a picture of her. Southern Throated. Maybe on the forum. Maybe one day. I think that's her because you see her talk on the show. She kind of has that voice. I'm not sure though. And she sounds like she has a kind of voice you would expect her to have, very soft and wild manner, and you know the kind of voice you expect her to have. And when she tries to have that voice, not her normal voice, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was Kayla on the phone.
When you're coming, is this your cell?
Okay.
Like, when you're coming, is this your cell?
Okay.
Okay.
So, do you want me to call you and like talk to you when you're driving?
So now she says, "You want me to call you and talk to you while you're driving?" I guess it's part of the tactic to make sure they don't change their minds. But driving and talking through a cell phone, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see he's not really involved in the discussion. It's really like it's not a boring discussion, but it's bland and it doesn't go anywhere.
Can do that.
Are you virgin?
Yes, that out of nowhere, like, oh, I need to get one more question, so before I can go and listen to that.
Huh?
Are you virgin?
Are you virgin?
Crap, I can't hear you.
Crap, I can
Say
hear
it
you.
again.
Listen,
Are you a virgin?
are you a virgin? When he tries to have a good English, he has a good English. Are you a virgin? And I know for Muslim, it's really important to remain virgin, and there's the Quran and all that. She's 15. I guess she could be not a virgin, but why do you even ask her? You never met her. That's not the kind of question you ask like to a girl. Like if you meet a girl, are you a virgin? And why does it matter anyway? Why should the virginity matters? Well, for Muslim it does matter. I guess if she wasn't a virgin, Davut Ozkan would be like, no, I'm less excited. But listen to what he says.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I'm not virgin.
I'm not virgin. You broke the Quran, man. You committed an offense. And why do you say that? Why do you care? You're 29. At the time he was caught, he was 27. No, he was 29 actually. What kind of guy, except Lauren, is a virgin at 29? And he goes to college, and if his parents can pay for him to study abroad in the U.S., it's hard. It's hard to pay from Turkey to the U.S. So their parents have a lot of money, probably, at least a little bit. So he probably, of course, he's not going to be a virgin. I hate to say that, but he's not a bad-looking guy. He's not a good-looking guy, but he's no Lauren either. And he dressed like shit, but he has hair. He has the nose, of course. It's the least pleasant part. But he doesn't have any scars. He's not overweight, and I guess some girls could like him. But why do you ask that on the first? You've been talking to her for 2 minutes 40 seconds, and the chat is not even long. Like it's chat like he talks on March 23, and that's it. Actually, he talks for like about it. No, he actually talks 2 days, March 23 and March 25. Okay. Yeah, March 24th. So for a day and a half, he talks to her and they ask, "Are you a virgin?" Like maybe take her out on a date before and ask her in person. Like if she said yes, no, I'm not a virgin, he can go to the house. I don't know. Or maybe he wants to clear the air like, I'm not a good Muslim. I've not led a good Muslim life. I'm not married and I'm not virgin. I
I didn't think so.
don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
He says okay all the time. Like, okay, okay. It's so annoying. Somebody who says okay all the time. Like, hey, how are you? Okay. What you doing tonight? Okay.
please write online and
Okay. I'll
see you
talk to
tomorrow.
then, okay?
Huh?
Come back online.
Please write online and
Do you understand what he says?
Okay.
see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Come back online, alright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow, I think.
See you tomorrow, I think.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, are you going
Now the discussion is almost over, and then he asks, "Are you going?"
to interrupt me?
I guess any 15-year-old girl could hurt him. Like he's so small. Like a 15-year-old girl is gonna scratch him. He's gonna go, "Stop! Stop! It hurts!" Like, dude, you're twice her size. Like, are you going to hurt me? Fuck you, dude. I love you so much.
Are you going to arrest me?
Are you going to hurt me? No.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure? Are you going to hurt me? No. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure. What a fucking pussy. Like, you show up at the house and there's a 15-year-old girl like attacking you. You're like, ah, stop, don't hurt me.
Okay, I'll talk to you online, okay?
Huh?
I'll talk to you online, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, bye.
Well, that's it. I hope you enjoy my recording of Davut Ozkan, my idol. I'll do a study of the interview with Chris at some point. Fuck you, Davut. I shouldn't do that. It's also against my religion. I'm Muslim. Nama. I love you, man. All right, have a good night. Thanks for listening.